You think you are in control. Most people do. You plan carefully. You wake early. You set goals. You make lists. You imagine outcomes before they arrive. You rehearse conversations in your head. You calculate risks. You tell yourself that if you do everything right, life will respond in kind. You said to yourself that effort guarantees results, that intelligence protects you, that discipline safeguards you from chaos. This belief feels responsible, mature, even wise. It gives shape to uncertainty. It makes the future feel manageable. It creates the sense that life is something you can negotiate with if you prepare well enough. But this belief is also the first lie life teaches us. Stoicism does not begin with confidence or calm. It begins with a fracture, a realization that cuts against everything you were taught about effort and reward. Most of what you think you control, you do not. And most of the suffering you experience daily does not come from events themselves. It comes from the silent assumption that those events were supposed to obey you. The illusion of control is not obvious. It does not announce itself as arrogance. It hides behind words like responsibility, ambition, discipline, and planning. It often looks like virtue, but underneath it is the same expectation, that the world should bend because you tried hard enough. And when it does not, frustration appears, then anger, then anxiety, then bitterness. You feel cheated. You feel unlucky. You feel wronged by reality itself. This video is about seeing that illusion clearly, because until you do, no amount of motivation, discipline, or self-improvement will give you peace. Let me show you what this illusion looks like when it meets real life. This is John. He was not careless. He was not lazy. He was not foolish. He was thoughtful, structured, strategic, the kind of person people described as having his life together. From a young age, he believed deeply in preparation. He believed chaos could be outsmarted, that mistakes happened to people who failed to plan, that stability was earned through foresight. So he planned everything. He mapped his career years ahead. He studied trends. He saved aggressively. He avoided unnecessary risks. He always had a backup plan for his backup plan. Even his relationships were calculated, not cold, but careful. He did not believe in luck. He believed in systems. And for a long time, the system rewarded him. His business grew steadily, not dramatically, but reliably. Each quarter showed progress. Each year showed improvement. People admired his discipline. Younger men asked for advice. Older men approved quietly. He felt calm, not because life was calm, but because he believed he had mastered it. Then one night, everything collapsed. Not slowly, not gradually, overnight. A regulatory change, a decision made in a room he would never enter, by people he would never meet. A shift in policy that rewrote the rules without warning or explanation. By morning, contracts were void. Accounts frozen. Partnerships dissolved. Years of careful construction unraveled in weeks. He did what disciplined people do. He analyzed. He recalculated. He searched for leverage. He tried to regain control, but control did not respond. The harder he pushed, the more powerless he felt. His mind became restless. Sleep turned shallow. Conversations tightened. He replayed every decision he had ever made, convinced he must have missed something. There had to be a lever, a move, a solution. That belief nearly destroyed him, because the pain was not just financial. It was not just the loss of status or security. It was the collapse of an identity. If effort did not guarantee outcomes, then what did that say about everything he believed? This is where Stoicism speaks, and it does not soften its words. You are not entitled to results. You are entitled only to your actions. Everything else is borrowed. Marcus Aurelius warned that the moment you attach your peace to external outcomes, you surrender your mind to chance. And chance has no concern for your effort, your plans, or your intentions. John's mistake was not ambition. It was attachment. He did not merely work hard. He expected the world to reward him for it. And when it did not, he felt betrayed. This is how the illusion of control creates suffering. Not through failure itself, but through expectation. You may recognize this pattern in your own life. You do everything right, yet the promotion goes to someone else. You train consistently, yet your body breaks down. You love sincerely, yet the relationship ends. You act with integrity, yet you are misunderstood or punished for it. And the mind asks, why? As if the universe owes an explanation, as if reality violated a contract. Stoicism cuts through this thinking. It says this plainly: you were never promised fairness. You were never promised certainty. You were never promised stability. You were promised only one thing: the ability to choose how you respond. Most people resist this idea. John did too. Acceptance feels like surrender at first, like weakness, like letting go of standards, like abandoning discipline. But acceptance is not approval, and it is not passivity. It is clarity. No amount of mental force could change what had already happened. No amount of anger could rewind events. No amount of regret could restore control. Reality does not negotiate. So John stopped arguing with it. Not because he liked what happened, not because he excused it, but because exhaustion finally revealed the truth. Fighting reality was costing him more than reality ever did. This was the turning point. Stoicism does not ask you to like what happens. It asks you to stop pretending it should not have happened. When John released the need to control outcomes, something unexpected occurred. His mind grew quieter. Not optimistic, not cheerful, just quiet. And in that quiet, clarity returned. He began to separate effort from outcome. He stopped confusing discipline with entitlement. He focused on what remained within reach: his character, his decisions, his conduct in the present moment. He rebuilt slowly and differently, not with the belief that success would protect him, but with the understanding that no structure is permanent, that stability is temporary, that fortune is indifferent. This is the core insight of this video. Control is not something you own, it is something you temporarily borrow. And mistaking borrowed power for ownership is why people lose their balance when life shifts. The Stoics were not pessimists, they were realists. They understood that storms come whether you are prepared or not. Ships sink even with skilled captains. Empires fall despite careful governance. Bodies age regardless of discipline. Markets collapse regardless of intelligence. The question was never whether chaos would appear. The question was whether you expected immunity from it. The illusion of control tells you that life should behave. Stoicism tells you that life will not. And strangely, this truth does not weaken you. It frees you. When you stop demanding control, you stop being shocked by reality. When you stop expecting certainty, you stop fearing uncertainty. When you stop clinging to outcomes, you regain ownership of yourself. This is why Stoicism begins with control, not to give you more of it, but to show you where it ends. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you found it helpful or entertaining, it would mean the world to me if you could hit that like button and subscribe to join our community. Don't forget to share this with a friend who might like it too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.